What does disability mean to you? Like, what's the first thing that comes to mind? It might be a vague sense of discomfort with the word. You might feel totally neutral. Some of you might even identify with it. Well, I, Alexandra Gossett, am disabled, and I'm here to tell you that it is not a bad word. Some of you may be thinking that I look completely able-bodied, and you would be right. I do. I have what we call an invisible disability, which is pretty self-explanatory. My body is hyperflexible due to a connective tissue disorder. Do you know that feeling after a workout where your whole body aches and you just want to lay in bed forever? That's the kind of pain that I experience chronically. I am in pain as I stand here. I was in pain when I wrote this. As I breathe, I ache. And that is something that I have had to come to terms with. Disabled is a pretty simple word. Dis, the prefix, means apart, away, and it generally has a negative connotation. Ability is someone's capability or power to do something. I struggle to perform tasks that a lot of you probably don't even question. Climbing the stairs, tying your shoes. Anything can cause pain or a dislocation. My family and I were always aware that something was wrong with my body. My first dislocation happened when I was really young. My shoulder popped out of its socket as my dad held my hand. As I got older, I constantly complained that it hurt to walk and to run. I was a child who was experiencing constant joint, knee, and back pain, but I was dismissed because it didn't look like anything was wrong with me. It took 3 years for me to be seen by a doctor after my initial visit, and another 2 to be officially diagnosed. But finally, I had a diagnosis. I had an answer. But it was a diagnosis for a degenerative disorder with no cure. I remember being told at 12 that I should enjoy my physical activities while I could because I would only lose these abilities. My dream job was to be an actor on Broadway. But you can't dance and sing 8 shows a week when your body is like mine. I haven't quite given up yet. I had to reevaluate everything. My life, my dreams, my future. I will say, there are some good things. I have never had to take a high school gym class. I don't wait in lines at amusement parks. I never would have found my love for medicine without this condition. And I get to be an advocate for people like me. I am lucky enough to live in a time where diagnosis is possible and treatment through genetic editing is being developed. After I was diagnosed, I was told by a lot of people, teachers, mentors, friends, anyone who knew I was diagnosed, people on the street, that they had the answer to my condition. Acupuncture, essential oils, yoga, exercise, kettlebells, anything. They were convinced that it would help. And I understand, but the worst part was the doctors. Being told over and over again that it seems like everything's fine when I am screaming in pain is disheartening. Seeing doctors be shocked at your test results, professionals unaware of what to do with you. Sometimes people call me brave, and I don't know what to say to that. I have no choice but to be brave. This is my life. This is my body. I have no choice. Ableism is something that I have found is deeply ingrained in our society. Ableism being the prejudice or belief against anyone that is not able-bodied. An example of this in our language is the word retarded. I hear it used often to mean stupid or dull. It has its origins in describing mental disability. Cripple is another one that I hear used a lot. This one refers to people with physical disabilities, people who use mobility aids like a cane or a prosthetic. As someone who is both neurodivergent and physically disabled, it is painful to hear these words used in common vernacular as if they mean nothing. Why do we let that happen? Disabled people lose their right to privacy when they use a mobility aid. People will look at you and ask what's wrong, what happened, why do you need that? It's not your business. Medical costs in themselves can be debilitating. Things as simple as an MRI can cost hundreds of dollars with insurance. And when the disabled minimum wage is $3.50 an hour, more than 2 times less than the federal minimum wage for able-bodied workers, without familial help, it is impossible to get by. If you rely on disability payments in a state like California, you will be granted around $1,500 a month. The average rent in this state is $2,800. How are you supposed to survive? What can you do? You can vote. Raise the disabled minimum wage. Vote for politicians who care about our community, who think about the accessibility in your area. Be aware of the language that you use. Be kind. Kindness and awareness go so much farther than you would ever think. We are not spectacles in a museum, or symbols of bravery, or special, or crippled, or retarded. We are disabled, and that is not a bad word. Thank you.